What's up, everybody? Welcome to Just My Two Cents. And today we're going to be discussing having everything that you want, but not what you need. And I came up with this concept because the other day I was watching television, and on this particular channel, it's like PBS, but it's not PBS. And they were talking about SneakerCon for this particular segment. And for those of you all who don't know, because I didn't know, SneakerCon is basically where people can go and sell sneakers, resell sneakers, as well as show off their unique sneakers. And I was like, okay, this is really cool. And as I was watching, I kind of became perplexed because, you know, they interviewed a couple people and they talked about how sneakers came into fashion, and one individual mentioned how in the United States hierarchy is very important. And it's important because, we like to sit here and, kind of judge people in a sense based off of what they have. Now, I'm not saying everybody does, but some people do. And sneakers have become that kind of fashion thing of like, okay, well, if you can afford this $200 or $300 sneaker and nobody else got it, then you have some type of status in a sense. And this other individual who was interviewed, he discussed how kids in school is like a measure of status for them because, you go out to the mall, you get this $200-$300 sneaker, you come back to school the next day, nobody else has the sneaker, and all of a sudden you become like the coolest person on the block. And the next time a sneaker drops, you just hope that your parent or you have that money so you can buy the next sneaker so you can keep that status. And I'm like, you know what? This, like, it really makes sense. But at the same time, it kind of made me mad because I reflected to when I was in elementary school, when I was in middle school and high school. And I'm not going to say in college because in college, everybody don't struggle for the most part. But when I was, like, grade school, basically, I remember these people coming to school with these sneakers on and, with these Jordans and Nikes, Adidas, whatever. And, I mean, I had the same thing, but the thing was, some people would have these items on, but they would not have any school supplies. They would not know how to read. They would not know how to do a math equation. And I'm sitting here like, okay, so, you was able to go out and get this new shoe that dropped yesterday, right? But you looking at me, asking me for a pencil and a piece of paper because you talking about you ain't got none. And I'm sitting here like, why don't you have any paper? Why don't you have a pencil? Why don't you have a pen? Or you looking at the teacher to supply this for you? And, some people be like, oh, well, they're kids and they can't really help what their parents do. But to me, it becomes a cycle of having your priorities in the wrong place because when you grow up, these be the same people who knocking on your door asking for a cup of sugar, a cup of flour. They need some dish detergent. They need some laundry detergent. They want to use your washer dryer. They want to use everything that you got because you have made preparations. Your priorities were in a place to where you are able to have what you need as well as what you want, but all they have is what they want. And so you look at their house. They have the latest iPhone. They have the latest car out. They going out to eat. They going out to concerts. They got these expensive computers, tablets, whatever the case may or may not be. They got the makeup, they got the haircuts, they got the clothes. They still doing the whole clothes and shoes thing. And so, in my mind, it's like you have everything that you want, but you don't have what you need. And so you're looking at me to supply this for you. And I just think that's an issue. And I really think that's the issue, and I think that needs to be addressed. And I can only talk about this from the perspective of the black community because, I'm black, and I've never been anything else but black. And so that's all I can talk about it from is the perspective of what I've seen. And what I've seen is that the people who I went to school with, because I went to a predominantly black high school, was that, these people put a lot of emphasis on status. And it wasn't necessarily like status of academics or anything like that, but it was status of, oh, I got the freshest, fashion. I got the freshest haircut. I got the freshest nails, hair, this and the third. But you got all this, but you can't read. You got all this, but you can't do a math equation. And the people that's smart or whatever, you want to sit here and judge them because we're putting our money into other avenues of things. So we're out here, putting our money towards college applications. We're out here putting our money towards, like what, taking the SAT, ACT, things of that nature. And I'm not saying that they aren't, but I'm just saying, like, usually it's a line of demarcation. And we all know those people who have those types of priorities in the wrong place. And like I said, they grow up to be these individuals who always knocking on your door for stuff. Like right now, I know somebody who is always coming to, people in my family because, to me, they trying to run a dog kennel, and I feel like this, I'm all for black business. I'm all for it. I feel like if that's something that you can do, then do it. Like, definitely get your hustle on any way as possible. But I feel like you should definitely make sure that you have set over some resources so that you can get everything that you need and not necessarily everything that you want, because you want to have that business, but you need that tire to get to work. You know what I mean? But you don't want to invest in that tire so that you can get to and from like your main job, your main source of income. You don't want to invest in a washer and dryer, which is going, for sanitary purposes that you need to wash your clothes. You don't want to invest in a laundry detergent, which goes with the wash and dry. You don't want to invest in, like certain, like foods and stuff like that, like staple foods that you need for your household. You don't want to invest in like, just like basic things that you need, but you're rather like go out to the movies, you're rather go out to dinner, you're rather like take these little trips and stuff, you're rather try to run this dog kennel. My thing is this, I'm all for doing you, but at the same time, like, we need to have some come to Jesus moments with some people, because this, you can't. I feel like this, I'm the type of person where I give it to you the first maybe 1 or 2 times. I give it to you the first time, I ain't gonna say nothing, because I feel like at the end of the day, we all fall short sometimes. We all need stuff, and I feel like we all, like we all need help sometimes. I'm just gonna run it down like that. We all need help. But the second time, if it's within that same year, within that same month, within that same week, if it's like recent, I am going to give it to you, but I'm going to have a conversation with you. And the conversation, is going to go something like, hey, is everything good? Because I'm going to check in with you, because if you tell me like, oh, I lost my job, this, and the third, then that's going to be totally different. And I'm going to be like, okay, well, let me help you, try to get back on your feet. Let me do that, because that's the type of person that I am, because I want to see that everybody that I'm associated with win, because I feel like if you win it, I'm winning. And if I'm winning, you should be winning in your own lane as well. Also, like I said, the third time, I'm really going to be concerned, and it's going to be more of a conversation between like me and you, like, well, we need to sit down to try to figure out like how can we have this from not happening. And especially if I see that you got like the latest iPhone, or if your kids got the latest iPhone and stuff like that, and I'm like, these kids, I didn't get my first cell phone until I was like 13, and the only reason I got that because the people at the school at the time decided they didn't want us to use the office phones and stuff. Like, they the ones paying the phone bill for the school, but that is another story. But yeah, I just feel like we need to have some conversations about like people, like, status is important, and I'm all one for having your status, having your like your position in the hierarchy or whatever the case may or may not be, because nobody wants to be at the bottom, and which is true. But I feel like your status should not take away from your needs. Like, that you need a roof over your head, you need clothes on your back, and you need food on your table, especially when you got a family. You know that you have to take care of that. When it's you can kind of get by and finesse that thing the best way as possible, as long as it's not causing somebody else any heartache or pain, or you always using up their resources that they got for them and their family. But I feel like once you get a family, like, you have to really try to sit there and prioritize stuff. And one thing that I've learned, I mean, it's just like me and my dog, but one thing that I've learned since getting him is like, okay, I know that certain times I have to put him in a dog kennel, and I have to put him in a dog kennel because he can't go places with me, and I have to make sure that I have money for that. I have to make sure that I got food for him as well as myself. I have to make sure that me and him are straight before I'm able to sit here and go out and just like, oh my gosh, let me go, to Sephora and spend, $400 or $500 on makeup. I mean, I'm not gonna do that because that's just ridiculous. I mean, if you do that, then whatever. But I just feel like, people need to teach their kids to make sure that they have everything that they need. And I think that one thing that I can really give kudos to my parents for is that definitely they, like when we went back to school shopping, I think that's where I got kind of programmed with this, was making sure we had everything that we needed first. So we would go to Walmart, so we would go to Walmart and we would get like the pencils and pens and paper and notebooks and whatever. And then afterwards, we would go down to the J.C. Penney's or Sears or Dillard's or whatever and get, the clothes and stuff. And we would get like a couple outfits, and we would make sure, that we had, we were fresh, but we also made sure that we had what we needed for class. We made sure that on that school supply list on that first day of school, we were able to turn our stuff into the teachers, because y'all know you used to have to turn the stuff into the teachers, and then they put in that little cubby, and then they really never used it all, and they never really gave it back out to the people. But that's neither here nor there. So we would always make sure we had everything off that list, plus we had some new outfits. And I think that as parents, well, I ain't no parent, but I mean, I have a dog or fur baby. But anyway, I think as parents, it is important to make sure that you instill it in your kids when you're young. Like, make sure that you have everything that you need. Make sure that you have, whatever is required of you. And if you have some additional resources left over, then go ahead. And if you want to, like, splurge on it, splurge. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, like, to save everything, because I think that would be ridiculous to tell you not to enjoy your life, not to enjoy your money, and not to, like, spend money on your kids. But I feel like it's okay to treat them every now and again, but when it comes down to a point to where it's influencing, like, their ability to have a sustainable amount of life, and, people might say, well, having a pencil in school has never stopped anybody. I mean, you really don't know, because I feel like the research hasn't been done on that, but you should definitely have everything that you need. And I feel like with this sneaker con, it just brought up that remembrance, because, like I said, I remember being in school with people who would make sure that every time a new sneaker dropped, they was in the store. They would make sure that they made an effort to not only get that new sneaker, but you got to get the clothes and everything to match with it. And they show up super early to school, and they stay all day after school, even though they're not in any extracurricular activity, to just make sure that everybody, from the principal until the custodian, to the students, from the seniors to the freshmen, whoever, then saw it. And I'm like, this is just craziness, because this is the same person got straight F's. I remember one time, this boy, he had got suspended from school. Like, no lie, he had got suspended from school from fighting. And he came back to school, new outfit. And they had just dropped a pair of J's and the new J's. And I was like, you have got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. This dude, I mean, he was a smart dude, but he never had a pencil. He never had a piece of paper. And usually me and him would sit beside each other, and he would always ask me for a piece of paper and a pencil. And I would just get so mad, because I'm like, bruh, you got these brand new sneakers. You got these, brand new jeans and, this shirt, and you got this new, flashy chain on, but you ain't got that. Come on. I mean, I don't know what he doing now, because I really don't keep up with people like that. But I just feel like that was just ridiculous. That was just ridiculous for him to have all of that but not have what he needed. And I think it's definitely a trend And I think that that trend needs to be like stopped because people gonna get tired. People get tired of taking care of other people. And I know I'm the type of person where you're not gonna sit here and tell me, well, if you do for others, it'll come back to you. Because I believe that God gives you common sense, and I believe that He lets you know from the jump. Okay, look, give, but you need to be cognizant. Okay, well, I done gave this person 5 times within this week. Do you think you need to give anything else to this person? I mean, like, I ain't trying to be like rude when I say that, but for real. But this person run around here, they got a newer phone than you. Their kids got a newer phone than you. They running, to this, part of the country, to that part of the country, while you sitting up here talking about, I sure wish I could go. Well, if you start giving to them and you take care of your household and you have a conversation, because I think some things should start with a conversation. I mean, and it ain't got to get ugly. It don't have to get ugly. It don't got to go into the person's finance. It don't have to do any of that. All you have to do is just have a conversation with this person and be like, hey, bruh, I know you done came over a couple times within the last, couple months asking for this, asking for that. Is everything okay? Is there anything I can do with my connections to help you, get yourself together? I mean, is there a class? I took some financial literacy courses. Is there anything I can do to help you with that? Like, let me know. Like, don't sit here and just continue to give, because sometimes it goes back to that whole thing of like, you can, you can teach, you can like fish for somebody, or you can teach them how to fish, or however it go, but still, you get what I'm saying. So yeah, so I would say, reflect on the people that's in your life, reflect on your life, and if you feel like you're one of these people who, you sit here and you always ask for stuff, and it's not necessarily because, you can't afford it, but it's because, you spending your money on different stuff, then you might, need to reprioritize your life. Or if some people that always come to you for stuff, and it's like stuff that they need, necessity stuff, then, hey, I would sit here and I would have a conversation with them. Like I said, the conversation, it don't have to get nasty. You can ask them a couple questions. Once you ask them those couple questions, if they don't want to answer, then it's up to you to say no next time. And that's another thing. Like, sometimes we enable people to continue to live that type of lifestyle. I'm not gonna get on that, in this video, but I think sometimes we do enable people to live that type of lifestyle. We enable them to have everything that they want, but not because of what they need. And then, we get upset and we want to go talk to other people all the time, talking about, well, this person, always coming over here asking for stuff. Well, they know they can get it from you. That's why they're asking. But like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time.